Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. You can always trust a professor to go long. Thank you, Paul. That's okay. We can catch up a little bit of time on mine. Mr. Yu, you gave me a difficult task right away to cover this all in 15 minutes, and I wasn't quite up to it. So we're going to go through kind of a quick overview of some of the investment and strategy for UAS within the state. I want to let you all know these slides are available to you if you'd like them. I also have some folders in the table up front if you'd like them with a little bit more information from Department of Commerce, UND as well. So today we'll take a quick look at previous state investment from North Dakota within UAS. We're going to take a look, real quick overview of the UAS ecosphere. Paul, you did a very nice job of covering that. Thank you. Just a quick overview of some of our business incentives within North Dakota. I don't want it to get into a pitch, even though I guess that's probably my job, but I want to just let you know kind of what we have for business climate. And then what's really interesting is starting to talk collaboration strategies, and then just a few important dates and next steps. All right, so within North Dakota, we have been, as I mentioned earlier, at it for a long time within UAS, and so trying to divine the future of what's going to happen. I'd say we've moved with alacrity and been able to do, I think, the best we can given the changing market dynamics both within the states and the global economy. Within North Dakota itself, we've done a lot of really great things. Our Center for Excellence, the work that the university did, which spilled into the Northern Plains UAS test site, which I mentioned earlier, as well as Professor Snyder. They're really a regulatory expert within the field. From that, we spun off our Vantis network, which is a ground-based sense and avoid network that we've been implementing throughout the state. We also have the Grand Sky Commercial UAS Business Park. As Paul mentioned, that's an enhanced use lease with the Grand Forks Air Force Base. We've got about a 9,000 meter runway that we use in conjunction for MQ-4s, MQ-9s, everything that the base is flying. Recently, we got the FAA Federal Radar Data Pathfinder project, which is a big thing for us. Never before has our federal partners shared their radar data with state agencies, and so we've been working through the cybersecurity concerns and are working to implement that into our ground-based sense and avoid. And essentially what we think that will do is drop our CapEx by at least an order of magnitude, if not two, to cover not only the parts in North Dakota that we need to cover, but largely throughout the lower 48 states within the U.S. Currently, our North Dakota operates in a biennium, so every 2 years our legislation reconvenes. Easy for me to say. And so we recently put into law a $9 million optional buyback program for UAS, so everything that's non-NDAA compliant, which is the National Defense and Authorization Act, I believe initially of 2020 and now of 2024, working to serve our state agencies to divest from Chinese technology. I think the real takeaway here is that through June of 2025, North Dakota as a state has put in about $135.9 million, and we're expecting another $29.5 million over the next 2 years. That does not count the federal dollars that have come to the state. That does not count all of the public, private sector money that has come in either. So from a state level, we're pretty proud of that. I don't want to rehash everything that Professor Snyder had to say, but really the success for North Dakota hinges on a multi-factor, multi-stakeholder approach. It's our university system, which is fantastic, both in research and workforce development. We have great relationships in North Dakota. As Paul mentioned, there's not a lot of us, so we all know each other pretty well. We have a saying in North Dakota called the rule of three, is that you probably know somebody through three other people. So it's easy to do. We have a great UAS industry within North Dakota, and Bill Daggett will talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, and you'll hear a few other presentations from some of our partners within the industry. And then we have a lot of usage of UAS and a lot of adoption within our state agencies. Right now, for the state, we currently have a fleet, approximately 350 platforms, and the use cases and the adoption of UAS technology is growing every day, which is great to see. One other thing that's really made us successful too is our relationships with our federal partners. We have great relationships with DHS, DOD, Customs and Border Patrol. Really, we've had an opportunity to work with them all. We've got agencies, our Northern Plains test sites, on the phone with the FAA every week, and I'm sure Paul and his group have a litany of program managers and high-end people that they work with on a regular basis. So that's really been a great boon for us as North Dakota's been trying to push the envelope within UAS. You can see we think that there's continued opportunities, both partnering within the United States, as Paul had mentioned, and also globally, as we're talking about now. We see it in North Dakota as our next sector. North Dakota as a state is heavy into agriculture, energy production, manufacturing, and now autonomous systems as a whole, but really driving toward UAS. So within North Dakota, we like to think of ourselves as a pretty business-friendly state. I took a look last night at the active incentive programs that we have. We have 104 of them for businesses, both new and expanding right now. Of course, I'm not going to tire you with every single program, but these programs have been largely designed to, in the past, help the ag, the energy, and the manufacturing sector. But there's quite a lot of spillover into UAS, given the use cases that we're identifying in North Dakota and also the need to manufacture and establish the supply chains, as Dr. Lee was alluding to earlier. Just wanted to throw a couple of the more interesting programs that we have in North Dakota. We've got a PACE program, so this is an interest rate buy-down on a business loan up to $500,000, ushered through local developers in our bank in North Dakota. Interesting North Dakota fact, we have a state-owned bank, which is the only state-owned bank within the United States. And so that can buy down from prime rate down to, I believe, 1.5% or 2%. Something that we're really proud of and that I think is pretty cool for a state level is the Innovation Technology Loan Fund, the LIFT Fund. And what this does is it encourages businesses to commercialize IP within the state. And so what it is, for our next biennium, it's a $10 million pot. It is a 0% interest loan for the first 3 years that you take it. Then it is a 2% interest loan for the following 2 years, and then principal is due at the end of the 5 years, or under certain circumstances, that timeline can be extended. But I think that's a really cool opportunity for people who are looking to take their technologies to the next TRL level and really get them ready for commercialization. A couple other ones that are interesting: income tax exemption. We also have a property tax exemption, which is very similar to that. For primary sector businesses, it's 5 years. Really helps for starting up. If any businesses are looking to onshore, I'm happy to have those conversations with you. I would put it to you that within the UAS community, it's not hard to reach our thresholds for primary sector businesses. And then we've got the North Dakota Development Fund, which is a neat entity. We run that through our Department of Commerce. They supply gap financing, loans. They dabble a little bit in venture, and we do have some other opportunities for that too. So just to give you kind of a high-level overview of some of the things that North Dakota offers. And, as we go through these next 2 days, be happy to answer any more questions. Also, like I said, I've got some more materials on the booth outside. All right, getting to the fun conversation. I don't want to talk a whole lot to this group. I'm more interested in hearing this group and what you think we can bring to the table for you. But here's just a quick pass at some of the things that we have. We're really excited to be here. I mean that. We're excited to continue this collaboration. We have excellent relationships. I'm speaking for Department of Commerce and from the state with the other state agencies, our local partners, local developers, and as I mentioned earlier, our federal partners. I speak with the governor's office on a weekly basis, as well as the Commerce Commissioner, constantly updating them what's new and evolving within the UAS market, so they are probably getting a little bit more information than they would like some weeks, but for us from the state, happy to really just to try to understand your business needs, what your company needs, what it wants, what it could use, and I know I'm working with my team to really compile on our end kind of the same list of lines of business, major products, and really trying to put individuals together. Happy to facilitate any requests for information, requests for proposals, site selection, anything that might come of that nature. I'll be your go-to for that. So happy to help facilitate that. Likewise, we had a great MOU signing this last fall. If there is need for additional MOUs, additional NDAs, for any more in-depth business-type conversations, more than happy to help facilitate that process as well. Just kind of taking a quick look at it, just some thoughts I had. Obviously, we're all in the same boat where we need to establish critical component supply chains, as well as supply chains for different platforms. It's not lost on me that if we all start manufacturing, we'll obviously need new markets to be able to sell those components, sensors, platforms into. Talking with Paul and the university and the great work that they're doing, looking to research agreements that further the UAS industry. We want to develop new technology sharing. I think that can be very useful for us. And then I think the real crux of the issue too is developing a strategy for this team together to stay on top of the emerging trends. You heard Paul speak about remote ID earlier, and hindsight being 20/20 vision, what could we have done differently? And the industry is moving so fast right now. It's a very exciting time to be in the industry, but it's moving so fast it's hard to keep up a lot of the time. So we'd be very interested in having a conversation about how we can do that better and what that can look like. I just wanted to call this out. I think it is fantastic. This is the second event in 2 months, and that is with a new administration, federal administration on our part, new governor, state level administration, new administration on your part as well, and really happy that we're continuing the momentum that we've built to date. Once again, as I mentioned, would love to understand your business needs better, so we can bring everything that we're doing in North Dakota to be of service and see if we can find any connections that make sense. I would like to offer an invitation for those interested. We do have our UAS Summit in Grand Forks, North Dakota. That's kind of our big show within the state. We've been doing that for, Bill, how many years has it been? 20? 18? Yeah, 18, 20 years. So that's going to be held October 14th and 15th. We'll be talking with Mr. Yu about that following this, but would be more than happy. Open invitation from the state of North Dakota. Would love to see any and all of you there. And then, like I said, I'm working with my team to provide a comprehensive list of what we need, what we have, and try to draw those lines together. Thank you again to all of our hosts and all of the businesses and all of the officials who could be here today. We really appreciate your time. An event like this doesn't go off without a lot of work, so we are very grateful to be here. Thank you.